Hey everybody, welcome to part 2 of our 1966 Ford Thunderbird cigarette lighter. Really interesting thought about this is that I really didn't realize how complicated this would be. I thought it would be a simple one and done cigarette lighter video, but there's a little bit more to it than I thought, and hopefully, you know, all of you will learn something too. In my last video there was a bit of a debate about what is this thing and how does it work, including for myself, right? I had no idea. So as it turns out, this is what we would call a fusible link, essentially. So let's draw out how this configuration works in a 1966 Thunderbird. So here's your cigarette lighter. Let me see if I can zoom in here so you can see this. I don't think you're seeing it. So here's our cigarette lighter assembly that we're working on. And what you have here is the fusible link, like that. And this goes to a wire back to the fuse box, to a 15 amp fuse. Okay? So essentially what's happening is, obviously you're going right to a 15 amp fuse, but what does this piece do? Okay? This is actually fusing the entire wire, 15 amps. But what's the significance of this piece? Well, really simple. If you push in this lighter, like this, oops, let me get it in there, hold on. You push in that lighter, like that, and for some reason it doesn't pop out. Could be a number of reasons, right? This is too tight, something is jammed. What would happen? It would continue to heat. And if you had this in your dashboard and it continued to heat, the base of this thing would become so hot that eventually what it would do is start to melt things like the dashboard and the wire that it's connected to. All right? So what they did was they put this fusible link here so as basically a thermal fuse. So it would get so hot it would pop the inside of this thing. And I'll show you again what the inside looks like. But that's exactly what this thing is designed to do, is if this unit gets way too hot, it would break the connection and protect the wiring and the dashboard. So that's what we're looking at here. Now let me show you what the inside of that thing looks like again, and then maybe it'll make more sense. Just going over to get the parts here. Okay. So if you recall, here's the top. This is the equivalent of this post right here. What you have in here is a copper, I don't know if you can see that, a copper ring, okay? And that copper ring makes contact inside with another copper ring that sits right in here. And the copper ring I have is all bent, so I can't really show it to you, but it looks like this, okay? And what would happen is it kind of sits like this. And if this thing were to overheat, it would simply melt this connection and it would break it. That's essentially what it is. So this is basically a copper connection between the post coming out of the lighter and the post going to the wire. Something like this. So it's really a fairly thick fuse, basically, if you think about it. This copper ring is very, very thin, and it would just melt it and pop, break the connection. So that's what it's designed to do. I was actually really fortunate to find someone selling this on eBay for like $5.99, free shipping. So I was lucky because I see some people selling them for 30 bucks. But essentially, it's got threads right there. The one that we got from John, we're a little off focus here. Let me pull this up a little bit. The one that we got from John was just spinning. Well, this one doesn't. This one screws onto the threads. As long as you don't over tighten it, you're going to be good to go. So there it is. And if you remember, on the inside of this unit, we replaced the insides right there. And the other end of that metal element, I guess is what you would call it, juts out the bottom of this thing, and that's what the fusible link attaches to. Like that. So we've already put this installed. We've installed it. We've tightened all the bolts and nuts, and this thing is essentially ready to go. I also took our outer sleeve, which is what holds it into the dashboard when you screw it in like this. That's also our ground connection, and I've shined it with some Mother's Mag, and it looks really good, like so. And then we have our heating element, like this. Now the inside here, it's probably not good, but I don't think John's going to be lighting any cigars with this thing anytime soon. But there we go. That's what it's going to look like sticking out of the dash. I'm just going to polish this up a little bit more. And I unfortunately don't have a way to test it. I do have a 12-volt power supply that I could use, but it's only 0.6 amps. It'll pop that thing in about 2 seconds. So we can't test it. So unfortunately, we're going to have to rely on John to put it in the car and let us know. But there we go. One cigarette lighter. Repaired, original, ready to go back in the vehicle for John. All right, so if you have any questions, let me know. Really simple repair, not something I've seen for a 66 Thunderbird. So here it is. And again, you know, the donor parts here were a piece, an old, just a, you know, a regular lighter socket that I got on Amazon for like $5.99, and I took out the contacts that were rotted and replaced them, and the fusible link. So, you know, we're probably 10 bucks into this thing, and it's brand new. Okay? So if you have any questions, let me know. This has been a good learning experience for all of us. Now we know how it's wired. What I don't know is how new cars do this. New cars don't have this fusible link right here. I don't know how they do it in the car. They probably have the fusible link back somewhere in the fuse box, I would imagine. So that's probably how they do it. They just got away from this design. There's got to be a fusible link somewhere to protect it. Don't know where that is in a new car. I haven't researched it, but if any of you know, let me know. So so that's the story. So this is John. This has gone its way back to you, all polished up and ready to go. And when you get to the point where you are ready to test it out, let us know in one of your videos how it did. All right, guys, thanks. Hope everybody has a great day. Thanks for your questions and comments, by the way. Take care.